Hey everyone, welcome to Running Retro. So today we're going to be disassembling and reassembling an original Famicom. Let's flip this sucker over. This one's reasonably simple except for the internal controls with the controllers wired in the back and going around to the front. But we're going to start with taking out these 6 screws. Now these 6 screws were put in by somebody else a little bit tight. So I am having to really get in here and work these out. Remember when dealing with these items that all of these screw holes are plastic and they are really easy to strip out. So you want to get them in there securely, but really don't want to over tighten them. If you're just going to have the console sitting on a shelf for a while, then you can definitely make sure that they're firm, but not overly tight. We are actually disassembling this to take a look at the inside real fast because we are going to be RGB modding this. So those of you who've been watching the channel, I believe that we popped a cartridge in and actually tested this. So it is working now, but our next video, our next tech video will be the Famicom RGB mod. So wait for that, and it shall appear. All right, last screw here. Excellent, excellent. And now we'll just pop the bottom off. I do like the vent there on the bottom too. It feels kind of pointless, but I like it aesthetically. And there's a Famicom board. We actually have one of the newer models of the Famicom here, and you can tell because at the back where the RF modulator is here, or where the RF unit is, excuse me, the solder joints are in with heavy ground plugs there, and the wires are there's a 5-pin connector above those ground joints on the right hand side, right where my hand is, and those are kind of a beast. The later ones, or sorry, the earlier ones were more of a ribbon style. This is much firmer. So we're gonna take out these 2 screws for the cartridge slot right there, and the 2 screws at the back of the RF module. Well, it really is the power amp board. That is the RF out, but that whole thing is the power amp board. Like there are 2 more screws actually on the board right there. Take those suckers out. Lift the board up. And there you have it. There's the cartridge slide with the spring. You have both of your controllers coming in either side through those grommets wound around the poles. Make sure if you're taking this apart that you notice that the wire goes over around the pole and then under. So when you're putting it back from the front where it clips into the board, you want that going under the circle going out. And there's controller 1 and controller 2. Controller 1 is the wider one because it has extra pins, and controller 2 has fewer pins, so you can disconnect those if you want to take apart your or to take out your controllers. Yep, there's that PA board. And you'll notice that there are little slots there that the wires will fit into, so you want to make sure that you have that in there nice and snug. If you ever want to tinker around with the cartridge slide slot, you can. You do have to remove that when you RGB mod it, so that is a downside of the mod, but not a very big one, because that thing frankly isn't particularly helpful. So then just fit it right back in. You'll find that the front port slides directly into those little tabs there as I'm pointing at it. And it should just fit nice and securely, be down in there, sitting flush, sitting snug, and then you can put it back together. So as you can see, there's really not too much to take apart here and to put back together. The person before me who had this did in fact strip out that one screw, and it was a pain to get back in. I am not screwing that quite as hard as it looks. I'm actually using a very loose grip, so I'm not yanking the crap out of it. Because yeah, they are a little stripped out. I did have to use a little bit of extra force, but that was because they were already stripped, and unfortunately there wasn't any coming back from that. So I did have to apply a little extra force when working on your own console. Don't. You really do want to be as gentle with those as you can. Obviously, if something has already messed it up, you can be reasonably firm. Make sure you put your cartridge slot screws back down. And there should be 2 extra screws there on the PA board. That was also another thing that the previous owner had disassembled this and left those out. But we'll get that case back on with the vent towards the front, as you can see. And now we will put our 6 screws back in. My helping hands were not particularly helpful here. And as you guys know, I do like to put in my screws first, just so that I've counted them all, I've accounted for all of them, and that they're where they need to go, and then it just makes it faster putting these down. I don't like using automatic screwdrivers on these consoles, specifically because of the stripping issue. And one last thing to note, I do have a microfiber cloth sitting there underneath this so that it doesn't scratch the top of the console. And that is something that, if you're going to be doing this, you really want to put something between the console and the surface you're working on that's soft, so you don't do any damage and so that you don't strip them out. One more. Yeah, that one was a little messed up. So there you go, guys. There's your Famicom disassembled and reassembled. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. Thanks so much. Please like and subscribe, and check us out on our next video. Appreciate it.